Longhorns are taking the field to warm up for first pitch. This has been the Texas Longhorns softball pregame show. We'll be right back with first pitch. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Texas Longhorns softball team has been on a roll so far this season, only one loss, and they've been smoking some opponents in the SEC the last couple of weekends. But they get an old school test against Central Texas rival Baylor for the bye week here in SEC scheduling this weekend. Texas and Baylor both having bye weeks in conference play, and the Longhorns host the Bears to open this two-game set today. Good evening from Red and Charlene McCombs Field. I'm Andrew Haynes. We're about ready to get this one underway as Hannah Wells gets the start for Texas. The right-hander winds and deals. And her first offering is on the outside corner at the knees for a called strike one. We're underway at 6:32 p.m. here at McCombs Field. Temperature about 87 degrees with clear skies and shadows starting to stream across from the third base and left field line. Brooklyn Carter at the plate. Next pitch swings and a little looping pop-up behind third base and falling in the foul territory of the outfield grass. So Carter behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes against Wells. Hannah Wells getting the start for Texas, the freshman at 6 feet tall, right-hander from Coahoma, Texas. And Wells looking at her wristband, getting the pitch call on the little pitch calling watch. Next pitch grounded down to third. One hop to J.C. Nichols, and Nichols up with it cleanly. A routine play for Nichols. She fires across in plenty of time. And the Longhorns get Carter to open this game. Baylor's lineup, they lead off with Carter. She'll play center field. Now batting the shortstop, Amber Tovin. Hitting third will be Carrington Dawson in left field. It's Leah Cran at first base. Cran batting cleanup. Faith Piper at second base hits fifth as Wells' first pitch is up and away on the left-handed batting Tovin. It's going to be Casey West, the designated player, batting sixth. Kagan Marshall is at third base batting seventh. Catcher batting eighth, Avery Waddell. Gianna Gussman in right field bats ninth. 1-0. Over the heart of the plate for a called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tovin. With Carrington Dawson on deck from Wells. Longhorns right-hander will be hitting and pitching in this one. Big kind of miss by Tovin. The count now 1-2. Tovin, who spent her freshman year at Arizona back in 2022, missed the Longhorns left fielder Kaya Altmaier in Tucson by a year. Wells misses low and away rather, and the count now 2-2 on Tovin. Wells making her 5th start, 11th appearance, 3-1 with a 2.10 ERA, 23 in the third innings, 17 hits, just a 2.02 to opponent's average. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Foul tipped according to the plate umpire, Matt Johnson, held by Reese Atwood, and that's out number 2 here in the first inning. Johnson getting to the umpires behind the plate, David Irwin at first base, and then Johnny Paz at third base. Longhorns defensively have Reese Atwood behind the plate, Katie Stewart at first. Second baseman is Leanne Good, Vivi Martinez the shortstop, J.C. Nichols at third base. As the first pitch to Carrington Dawson is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. In the outfield from left to right, it's Kaya Altmaier, Caden Henry, and Ashton Maloney. The usual starters in there for Texas all around the diamond. The 0-1. Wells misses off the outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Longhorns taking on this Baylor team 20-7 and receiving votes in the major polls. Team that took 2 of 3 from a top 25 UCF team last weekend. 2 out, bases empty, no score, 1-1 pitch. Fouled back. And the count now 1-2. Dawson hitting .382, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs. For this Baylor team, has eyes on making it back to the regionals after missing the regionals altogether last year. 1-2 offering. Foul tipped, just drops out of the glove of Atwood. And it remains a ball and 2 strikes. Continuing to look at Wells. She's walked 11, struck out 22 in her 23 1/3 innings entering this game. Right-hander with a 1-2 pitch. Dips low and in to square up the count, 2-2. Wells, of course, first start back on the second day of the season went rather rough against Nebraska. Taking out that start, she's had a very, very good start to her career. 2-2. Off-speed breaking ball waved at and missed by Dawson up in the zone. And Wells turns in a 1-2-3 first inning with a couple of strikeouts. Shuts down the Bears to start the game. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you. We're not getting any crowd noise, right? Bottom of the first inning, the Texas Longhorns taking on the Baylor Bears. There's no score after the Longhorns. Right-hander Hannah Wells shut down the Bears quickly with a couple of strikeouts. Now the Longhorns come to the plate, and they'll face an Austin area native out of Georgetown, the right-hander Cambry Krager. Krager, a 5'11" sophomore righty who spent her freshman year at Arizona State, had a bit of a rough year with the Sun Devils last year. But Krager has pitched very well for the Bears after transferring this year. Krager facing Caden Henry, Leanne Good, Kaya Altmaier here in the bottom of the first. First pitch to Henry. Misses low and away. That's ball 1. Krager last year with Arizona State was 2-3 with an 8.08 ERA after being their opening day starter. The right-hander with a 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip held by the catcher Avery Waddell, 1-1. Krager this year, 12th start, 16th appearance for the Bears, 7-0 with a 2.98 earned run average. 65 2/3 innings. She's allowed 66 hits, 29 walks, and 48 strikeouts. Henry in the air, left center field. Drifting over, the left fielder Carrington Dawson. Dawson stops, makes the catch. Henry put out for out number 1. 1 down. And here's Leanne Good as we go through the Longhorns lineup. Henry in center field, Good at second base. Kaya Altmaier hitting third and left field. Reese Atwood catching, batting cleanup. It'll be Katie Stewart at first base hitting 5th. Designated player batting 6th is Hannah Wells. Vivian Martinez, the shortstop, bats 7th. Third baseman batting 8th is J.C. Nichols. And Ashton Maloney in right field, batting ninth. First pitch swinging, fly ball right center field. It drops off the bat of Leanne Good. It was picked up on one hop by the center fielder Brooklyn Carter. Good on first base with a one-out hit. The Longhorns have the first base runner of the game. Cambry Crager started her season against Mississippi State in the opener Baylor played back on February the 5th. A ranked Mississippi State team that this past weekend handed Tennessee their first loss of the season. And Crager in that game, a game that Baylor lost 10-0. As the first pitch to Altmyer is taken for a strike. Cambry Crager in that game went 2 2/3 innings. Allowed 8 hits, 7 runs. Here's the 0-1 swing and a miss. And the count quickly 0-2 on Altmyer. Crager, after that one, has had a much better season. She did have a rough outing the next day, actually, against New Mexico, as the 0-2 offering is swung on and missed, and Altmyer is down on 3 pitches for out number 2 here in the first. So Crager, after allowing a single, gets Altmyer. And here's Reese Atwood. Atwood from the right side, the senior right-handed batting catcher. Takes the first pitch up and away for ball 1. Crager allowed 12 earned runs in those first 2 games. She's allowed 28 total this season. That was 12 in 4 2/3 innings in the first 2 games of the season. Since then has been a much different pitcher. Up and away on Atwood. 2 balls and no strikes. Crager pitched 2 of the 3 games against UCF this past weekend. Took the loss in the right-hander. The 2-0. Up and away, 3-0 on Atwood. And then Crager in the finale against UCF pitched a complete game, allowed 8 hits, just 2 runs, and earned the win against a top 25 UCF team. 3 balls, no strikes, and Crager calls time. Runner on first, 2 out, no score in the bottom of the first inning. Right-hander, the 3-0 offering. Misses, low and away. Atwood, a 4-pitch walk. And that pushes Leanne Good into scoring position. 15th walk of the season for Atwood. And that'll bring up Katie Stewart. Defensively, the Bears have Avery Raudell behind the plate, Leah Cran at first, Faith Piper at second, Amber Tobin the shortstop, Kagan Marshall at third, as the first pitch to Stewart is a pop-up toward the right side, off the glove of the first baseman drifting back, Cran. It falls out of her glove, and the runner coming around third, Leanne Good, sent to the plate. The tag missed, and Good scores to give the Longhorns a 1-0 lead. Wow. What a play there. Cran just in front of the bag, unable to get back in time. In and out of the glove. And Mike White being aggressive, sending Leanne Good. The second baseman, Faith Piper, getting to it. The throw home was just in time, and the catcher Waddell was out on the first base line side of the plate. First pitch to Hannah Wells is in there for a called strike. She actually caught the ball and put the glove on the plate, but Leanne Good's slide apparently got her hand in, avoiding the glove, avoiding the tag. No balls and a strike, the count on Wells. 2 out, runners on the corners as Reese Atwood went around to third. Pitch high from Crager. 1-0 Texas on an infield hit from Katie Stewart. She gets an RBI, her 40th of the season. As Good did not stop coming around third base. Here's the 1-1. Wells, the Longhorns pitcher, trying to help herself, takes up and away. Count 2 balls and a strike. Anyway, continuing the defense for Baylor. The left fielder is Carrington Dawson, Brooklyn Carter in center, and Gianna Gussman playing right. 2-1. Wells rips it foul. Wide of third base. Reese Atwood having to spin and jump out of the way to avoid being hit by that one. So Wells even in the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Krager to the plate. Wells lifts it foul up the right field line, back into the new stands. Placed past right field before the season began. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count remains on Wells. Atwood on third, Stewart on first base. The outfield a step deeper than normal all the way around for the Bears. The 2-2. In the dirt, Stewart hustling towards second, trying to draw a throw from the catcher, Waddell. Stewart put on the brakes, never drew a throw. She goes back to first as Waddell walked out in front of the plate. Look at her back. So it remains runners on the corners. The count now full, though, so Stewart will get a head start with 2 strikes here. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Oh, snap throw back to third by Waddell, but Atwood, who had taken a big lead off the bag, able to scamper back just in time. Stewart goes to second. The bases are loaded, and here's Vivi Martinez giving the Longhorns a chance to break this game open in the first inning. 1-0 Texas so far. And Glenn Moore, the Baylor longtime head coach, 26th year as the head man of the Bears, heads out of the dugout to go talk to Krager and the infield. Krager got a fly out to start the bottom of the first. Caden Henry lifted it to left. Leanne Good with a single to right center. Kaya Altmaier struck out on 3 pitches. Reese Atwood walked on 4 pitches. A stark difference in those 2 plate appearances. And then Katie Stewart's little pop-up over the first baseman, falling and letting Good score from second. And now Wells taking the walk. The Longhorns with the bases loaded, 2 out, trying to come through. So Vivi Martinez, the redshirt junior, hitting .333, 18 RBIs, hoping to add to that total. First pitch, called a strike on the black outside. 0-1 the count on Martinez. J.C. Nichols, the freshman, on deck. Atwood, Stewart, Wells on the bases for Texas. Martinez, her first 2 years, came through in the clutch multiple times. High chopper off the glove of Krager, who tries to chase it down. Picked up by the first baseman, Cran. No one to get at any base for Baylor, and another run scores, and Texas has a 2-0 lead. Krager at 5'11", able to get a glove on that. If she didn't, if she was a little bit shorter, it probably goes out to the second baseman, Faith Piper, next to the bag at second for an inning-ending force out. But Krager unable to handle it. Everyone's safe. Reese Atwood scores, and here's Nichols. 2-0 Texas. That one is an infield hit in the scoring. Nichols a slightly open stance. First pitch off the outside, ball 1. Tough play for Krager, having to kind of leap up for it, apparently, even at 5'11". Now Stewart, Wells, Martinez from third to first. 1-0. Over but low. 2-0 on Nichols. Ashton Maloney on deck for Texas. In the bottom of the first, leading 2-0. The outfield at medium depth, pretty well straight up. The left fielder Dawson a couple steps toward the line. Infield a step or 2 in, 2-0. Nichols drives it to left. Dawson spins one way, then the other way. Back on the warning track, stumbles and hangs on. Dawson, an adventure in left field, but she's able to haul it in and end the inning. The Longhorns pick up a pair and strand the bases loaded. Texas leads 2-0 as we go to the second. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Longhorns with a 2-0 lead early on the Baylor Bears. Bears right-hander Cambry Krager in a long conversation with associate head coach, pitching coach Brittany Sneed-Newman out in front of the dugout. After that first inning, Krager got 2 of the first 3 batters, but the Longhorns able to come through and score twice. Both runs coming on infield hits. So here in the second, it's 4-5-6 against Hannah Wells. Leah Cran to lead things off, Faith Piper, and then Casey West. Wells a 1-2-3 first, struck out the last 2 batters in the inning. Infield back on the first pitch to Cran. That's over the outer half above the knees for a called strike 1. Leah Cran batting .280. 8 doubles and 2 homers, 19 batted in. Just 7 walks, 4 strikeouts. Puts the ball in play a lot. Swing and a foul over the screen, back out of play. The count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd here at McCombs Field. Looks like a sellout for the most part. Couple of seats open in that first base line seating. The new bleachers. 0-2. The pitch. Over but low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield bleachers pretty full. The seats around the seating bowl behind the screen pretty full. Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip. Cran able to just get a piece. And she stays alive as that one skipped away from Reese Atwood a couple of feet. Not a lot of Baylor green in the stands, mostly burnt orange and white. 1-2. Chopped toward third. Nichols waits for a good hop, fires across, and a little offline, but Stewart lays the tag on Cran running by, and that's out number 1. Nichols making a quicker throw than normal, what she normally does, because she waited back for a better hop. With Cran, who has not stolen base, she was able to take a little more time. Out number 1, and here is Faith Piper. First pitch low and away from Hannah Wells. 1 ball, no strikes on Piper. Some wind blowing out to left here at McCombs Field. The corner infielders coming in down the line. 2-0 from Hannah Wells with that pitching off the outside. Altmeyer in left is a step or 2 toward the line from normal. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch gets a tie strike across the letters. Piper seemed a little stunned by that pitch. 2 balls and a strike now on Faith Piper. Katy, Texas native. Slaps the next pitch. Foul at the left field line. Hits off the sidewall. And the count now 2-2. I might have actually gotten into the Longhorns bullpen. Lost sight of it there. 2-2 pitch now. Bounce down to third. Just in front of the bag, Nichols. And a dime across the diamond in time for out number 2. Nichols managing the hot corner well.
Casey West.
On the money to get the second out. Nichols has 3 assists. Stewart has 3 putouts. For the 5 batters so far, 2 strikeouts recorded by Hannah Wells, whose first pitch to Casey West is high. Ball 1 on West, a designated player in her 5th year with the program. Missed last year with an injury. 1-0. Takes over the heart of the plate for a called strike 1. West 6 for 14 this year so far. Used to be a trusted 2-way player for the Bears before she suffered that injury and missed last year. Liberty, Texas native. Slaps the next pitch into the Baylor dugout. Some quick concerned glances from the umpire, the Baylor hitters. Reese Atwood taking a peek as well. The ball pops out and seems like everyone's okay. No one rushing to offer any aid. 1-2 pitch. Wells just misses low. 2-2 the count now on Casey West. 5'3" grad student. 2022 Big 12 all-freshman team. 2-2. Lifted into right field. Ashton Maloney playing toward the line. Has to come over back towards straightaway right. And it falls in front of her for a hit. First base runner for the Bears. Maloney with some tough sun. Probably playing that a little more relaxed. Later in the game, if there had been no one reaching base or no hits, you'd probably see Maloney, if the Longhorns were up by enough, hustling in to make a diving attempt at that one. Right down the middle, first pitch to Kagan Marshall. No balls and a strike on Marshall, a freshman who the Bears like a lot. Hitting just .210, but has a triple and 5 homers. Tied for the team lead in round trippers. The 0-1. Wells with a breaking ball, misses outside. 1-1 the count. West on first base has 1 steal in 1 try. 6 career steals entering this season. Not a burner. 1-1 pitch. Bounce to third. Once again, Nichols with a shot and a toss over to first in time for out number 3. So Wells works around a 2-out hit. First base runner for the Bears. She strands the runner. Texas with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Longhorn softball continues in a moment.
And now, fan.
Inning, the Texas Longhorns with a 2-0 lead over the Baylor Bears. Sent 8 to the plate in the first inning, plated a pair, and left the bases loaded. Now the one batter who did not step in the first, Ashton Maloney, gets a shot. Leading off here in the second, followed by the top of the order, Caden Henry, and then Leanne Good.
And now leading off with the horns, right fielder number 7, Ashton Maloney.
So Maloney getting an at bat here, hitting .294. The redshirt senior, 3 doubles and a triple on the season. It's on the first Cambry Krager pitch. Bunt shown. She didn't offer, but takes on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count on Maloney. Coming into this season, hitting .396 for her career after batting .415 last year. Set a school record with 93 hits for the season. A little wider from Krager. This time it doesn't get the call. 1-1. Maloney trying to fight back from some bad luck in the latter half of the non-conference part of the schedule. 1-1 pitch. Swings and smokes it through the left side into left field, a base hit. With that average dropping for Maloney down below 300. She was dropped in the order of number 9, but Mike White said right there at the last weekend of non-conference play that he liked what she was doing at the plate. She just didn't have the results. And so taking the pressure off. Henry up to the number 1 spot for the past couple of weeks. She takes the first pitch, strike on the outside corner. Maloney on first, 5 steals, 5 tries. Henry flied to left her first time. Hitting .421, 11 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. Corners in, middle infield a couple of steps in as well. The 0-1. Misses wide. 1 ball, 1 strike on Henry. 5'5" junior out of Dickinson, Texas, 2-time second-team all-conference. .409 last year, 12 doubles, 3 triples, and 4 home runs. That's the 1-1. Misses. Low and away, ball 2. 19 walks already for Henry. She's already surpassed her career high for a season in that category. Maloney on first, no one out, 2-1. Henry taps back to Krager, who reaches up and gloves it, runs toward first and underhands just in time. So Krager choosing not to go to second for the lead runner. And Maloney's in scoring position with 1 out.
Second baseman number 43, Leanne Good.
Leanne Good now. She started the rally in the first inning with a fly ball single to deep right center. Outfield straight up medium depth. First pitch, Good takes, and Maloney caught off the bag between second and third. The throw to third base is in time. Maloney picked off and caught stealing for out number 2. Avery Waddell, a quick snap throw with Maloney too far off the bag. Just like that, 2 down and the base is empty. Longhorns lead 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Want to know the count on Good. The pitch catches the outside corner. 2-4-5 goes the pickoff caught stealing on Maloney. First time she's been caught this year. One ball, 1 strike with Kaya Altmaier on deck. Good slices the next pitch into right. A dive and a catch by Gianna Gussman, and that ends the inning. Slicing away from Gussman, but she tracks it down. The Longhorns got a hit. They strand no one after Maloney's caught on the bases. And the Longhorns lead 2-0 going to the third. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you. Andrew Haynes at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. The Texas Longhorns with a 2-0 lead over the Baylor Bears. Hannah Wells, 2 strikeouts, 4 groundouts to third, 1 single allowed in the first 2 innings. She'll face 8-9-1 here in the third. Avery Waddell, Gianna Gussman, and then Brooklyn Carter. Talking about Wells' season, and first couple of games really affected her season stats. First game really. First pitch, a strike on the outside corner to Waddell, who got an important out for the Bears by throwing back behind Ashton Maloney in the bottom of the second inning. Maloney being caught between second and third and tagged out. Fly ball right center field. Maloney drifting over, and she puts it away. Says, all right, you got me, now I got you. Waddell put out. Out number 1. Gianna Gussman now the hitter.
Number 20, Gianna Gussman.
Wells, outside of that second game of the season, her second appearance, third game for the Longhorns, where she was hammered for 7 runs, 7 hits, and 2+ innings by Nebraska. First pitch to Gussman is on the outside corner. Outside of that, she has a 0 ERA. For that pitch, Patty Ruth Taylor going out to talk to the freshman. What PR is seeing there. Wells has allowed 3 total runs outside of that, all unearned. 2 against Ohio State on February 15th and 1 against South Carolina on March 8th. So, coming into this one, 21 1/3 innings, taking out that game against Nebraska, and no earned runs. Makes quite a difference when looking at her season stats. Wells, an appearance in the middle game of the series against Ole Miss, finished up that one. 0-1. On a high pitch in the count 0-2 against Ole Miss. When Cam Salmon in the 6th inning, the Longhorns at that point up 8-1, allowed a home run and then a single and a walk. The 0-2 off the outside, ball 1. Wells came in, walked 1 to load the bases, and then a strikeout and a ground out to finish up the top of the 6th, and then hit the 3-run homer for the walk-off run rule at the bottom of the 6th. That was her only appearance last weekend. Got the start on Sunday of the South Carolina series 2 weekends ago. She misses low and away, 2-2, 1 out, bases empty. 2-0 Texas here in the top of the 3rd. Went 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 5-2 Texas win over the Gamecocks. Low and away, ball 3. And after the visit by the pitching coach, Wells got a swing and a miss. Now has missed 3 straight times. 3-2 on Gussman. Wells payoff pitch. Bounced over the middle. Ranging grab by Leanne Good, but the momentum takes her into center field, and she has no chance to turn around and get Gussman. Gussman with an infield hit with 1 out. No, that brings up the top of the order for the Bears. Brooklyn Carter.
Center fielder, number 11, Brooklyn Carter.
Will step in from the left side. She grounded to third to open the ball game. A slap hitter extraordinaire. Hitting .400 this season, entering this game. Second year with Baylor. She's a senior. Takes the first pitch wide for ball 1. Carter spent her first 2 years at Washington, 2023-24. Carter showing bunt, rolls it, foul across the third baseline. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carter in 2023 hit .277, .314 in 2024, .313 last year, her first year with Baylor. And what's interesting about her career so far, 4 walks, 0 walks, 3 walks the first 3 years. 12 Ks, 17 Ks, 29 Ks. This year, 10 walks, no strikeouts, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Apparently a foul tip, according to plate umpire Matt Johnson. And the count now 1-2. Carter has really flipped the script with walks and strikeouts this season. 1-2 pitch. Ball off the outside, snap throw by Atwood. Diving back in, Gusman. And the count now 2-2. Atwood maybe seeing what Waddell did in the bottom of the second. Throwing behind Maloney at second base and saying, hey, I can do that too. 2-2. Soft line drive, leaping grab by Nichols, out number 2. .5'8" J.C. Nichols using all of that length to come down with a soft liner. And now there are 2 down with Gusman on first. Gusman didn't stray too far off the bag, so Nichols' throw not in time. Tobin now at the plate, who struck out in the first. 2-0 Texas in the third. Wells catches the top of the zone for a called strike. Amber Tobin hitting .353, 5 doubles, 5 home runs. Los Angeles native, 5 feet 6 inches tall. The 0-1 skips in the dirt outside, 1-1. She, with Arizona in 2022, went to the Women's College World Series. Scored the Wildcats' first run of that World Series. There's a World Series run that was ended by the Longhorns before the semifinals. 1-1. Lifted down the left field line. Kaya Altmaier hustling in, slows down, almost overran it. She reaches up and makes the grab and playfully wipes away some fake sweat. She almost missed that one. So the former Arizona Wildcats, who did not play together there, one puts out the other on the short fly. And Wells works around the infield hit, stranding a runner on first base. 2-0 Texas. We go to the bottom of the third. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. A 2-0 lead over the Baylor Bears. Kaya Altmaier lead things off. Reese Atwood, Katie Stewart also due up against the right-hander Cambry Krager. Bounding to her right, Faith Piper backhands, fires on to first. That's out number one. Altmaier retired for the first out. She's now 0 for 2.
The catcher, number 14, Reese Atwood.
So now Reese Atwood. Atwood took a 4-pitch walk in the first. Average just above 400, 403 entering this game. First pitch. It's a called strike above the knees on the outside black. Atwood walked and then scored a run in the first inning. 28th run scored of the season. 7 doubles, 10 homers, 38 batted in. That walk in the first was her 15th of the year, the 0-1. Swings at an inside pitch, grounds down to third. It flattens out, but Marshall picks it up cleanly and throws across in time for out number 2. Had a chance to potentially screw up the third baseman Marshall a little bit. A bouncer that then must have hit a rock and
Number 20, Katie Stewart.
became a worm burner skidding along the ground. Freshman Marshall, who supposedly has had reportedly a little bit of an adventure at third base and a little rough around the edges playing defense. There's hoping will turn into a good defender as she has some good athleticism. She's able to pick that one up. First pitch outside to Stewart for ball 1. Katie knocked in the first run of the game. In the first, runners on first and second. And she had a pop-up over the first baseman, Leah Cran, who was unable to reach up and grab it. It stayed on the dirt. And Mike White with Leanne Good on second. Sensed an opportunity, sent Good to the plate. She scored, avoiding the tag. 2-0 pitch. It misses low, ball 3. So 3 balls, no strikes, 2 out, bases empty in the Longhorns half of the third. Pitch. Low and away, ball 4. Stewart, the 4-pitch free pass. 22nd walk of the season for Stewart. She leads the team in that category.
Those pitches, number 13, Hannah Wells.
Hannah Wells a chance to help herself. She walked to load the bases in the first and set up the Longhorns scoring another infield hit run. First pitch swinging, soaring fly ball to right, routine. A little more than routine for Gussman, who drifting over had to lunge back at the last second, but she still hauls it in. Gussman made a couple of nice catches to end each of the last 2 innings. Texas strands a runner on a 2-out walk. The Longhorns lead 2-0 as we go to the 4th. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you. Top of the 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Baylor. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Texas. Hannah Wells, 1, 2, 3 first, and then 1 single each in the 2nd and 3rd. And she faces the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5, Dawson, Cran, and Piper. The Longhorns up 2-0.
Leading off for Baylor, left fielder number 42.
This, of course, used to be a regular series at the end of the regular season. Texas against Baylor, when both were in the Big 12 for many, many years. 2024, they played earlier than the end of the season as the first pitch is swung on and roped to left center field. On the move, it's Henry picking it up off the bounce, off the wall, and kicks away from good. And Carrington Dawson leads off the fourth with a first pitch double. Henry and Altmyer unable to get there. So Dawson's 7th double in the season puts the first Bears runner in scoring position in this game. Anyway, last year they played once.
The first baseman number 1, Leo Clark.
It was a midweek game. The Longhorns, as they were a little before getting into conference play. Leah Cran showing bunt, bunts it foul. Texas scored 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 1 in the sixth. Tegan Cavan threw a one-hitter. Very tightly played game. Texas won it 4-0. And Good hit a 2-run homer in that game, the 0-1. Big cut and a miss by Cran, not bunting. Swing and a miss. Cran 0 for 1 after grounding out to third base in the second. Dawson on second base. Over but low from Wells. Wow, that was a good pitch. Must have just missed the knees. Dawson has 6 steals and 8 tries this season. Infield back, 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, Cran fouls back to the screen. 1-2, the count remains on Leah Cran. Faith Piper on deck. Texas up 2-0 in the top of the fourth. Wells 1-2. Bounce down to third. Short hop by Nichols. She takes a long look at the runner Dawson and then takes a beat before throwing just to make sure Dawson didn't break after the look. Nichols throw in time to get Cran for out number 1.
Second baseman number 26.
Veteran play by the freshman Nichols there at third. Knew how much time she had, looked back Dawson, and then an extra crow hop. As the first pitch to Faith Piper misses low and away, ball 1. Piper also grounded out to third. Nichols has been involved with seemingly a majority of the plays here so far defensively. Piper lines the next pitch fair down the left field line. Altmyer was playing back. She comes in, picks it up, fires toward the plate, cut off by Nichols. Dawson did not break for the plate, but Piper goes around to second on the throw home. So the Bears have second and third and 1 out against Wells. Little slice the opposite way off the bat of Piper. Reese Atwood going to talk with Wells. Trying to help the freshman come back in and get some outs. 1 out, but second and third for the Bears. They have a potential tying run in scoring position here in the top of the fourth.
The TP number 7, TC West.
Infield halfway in for the Longhorns. Dawson at third, good speed. First pitch, the middle infield backing up. First fouled back by West. Back to the screen, no balls and a strike. West became the first base runner in the second inning. Fly ball single into right, just short of Ashton Maloney. That was with 2 out in that frame. Double ground out single for the Bears here in the fourth. Bounce back to the circle, Wells up with it, looks runner back, but the throw to first base anyway. Run scores, now the throw to third is not in time. So Dawson daring. After Wells looked her back, still broke for the plate. Katie Stewart with a very strong arm, just threw it a little low, I think. So Atwood had a tough time handling it. They get out number 2, 1-3. But now Piper on third, and here's Kagan Marshall, who grounded to third her first time. RBI for West in that situation. Atwood calls time. She'll jog out and talk to Wells. Actually, Mike White's out talking to the plate umpire. Is there something he wants reviewed? Maybe trying to say the runner was inside the baseline, maybe? The umpires will get together after White's request. I think the throw hit the base runner going down the line. The throw from Stewart to the plate. Long discussion there for the umpires. Meaning that there may be some credence to what White asked about. First base umpire David Irwin looking like he's stepping in front of the circle to make an announcement. Back and forth, going from the umpire meeting back to the circle. Now finally he will make an announcement here. So there it is. The Longhorns wondering if the runner going down to first base interfered with the play somehow, as she was thrown out by Wells going over to Stewart. We'll have to see if anything comes of this. Of course, they'll review it here on site, this not being an SEC game where they send it over to the replay center in Birmingham, Alabama. Replay I just saw, the runner did kind of sort of run on the line maybe. I don't know if it's going to be enough to have that overturned. I don't know if Stewart's throw hit the runner at all. If it did, it just barely grazed the runner. That was a quick review. David Irwin returns to the field, and here's the results. So I'm guessing that the call stands or was confirmed. Communicated very well there by the first base umpire, David Irwin. Said the runner is out, so I guess that just means that the runner going to first base is out, but the run still scores. As he says, that's Texas' first challenge. So the run counts, and there's a runner on third, 2 out here for Kagan Marshall. First pitch at the top of the zone for a called strike 1. Marshall bounced to third her first time. It's Faith Piper on third base. 2 down, the corners next to the bags. Middle infield back. Marshall takes off the inside, ball 1. Dawson, who doubled to open the inning, took third on the single by Faith Piper. Scores even after being looked back by Hannah Wells. 1-1. away. Atwood able to handle it. And the count now 2 balls and a strike. One-run lead for Texas. High chop left side, deep in the hole. Martinez, a long throw. It is not in time. And the tying run scores. Longhorns debating, I think, whether to go and request a replay review on a second straight play, but after losing the first one, they might hang on to the challenge here. Plate umpire Matt Johnson actually looking into the dugout, and now he comes out. He'll bring the other umpires together. Well, no, it was a challenge by the Longhorns. Microphone not working too well for David Irwin. So the Longhorns indeed challenging the call on the bang bang play at first base. If that gets overturned, the inning ends. If it doesn't, then the Longhorns lose all of their challenges and it's a tie game. Have a good replay angle on that one. Umpires will have a better angle. Katie Stewart thought it was an out, as she caught the ball and the runner was crossing first, Kagan Marshall. Vivian Martinez, a great play to get to it in the hole and make a strong throw. Marshall has a little bit of speed, 3 steals and 4 tries. She's able to make it a bang bang play after a hard shot bouncer in the hole. At present, it's a 2-2 tie. Longhorns hoping that one of the calls will go their way and get overturned. Marshall standing on first base. Longhorns standing around waiting. Faith Piper across the plate. Is that one called safe at first? Showing a replay on the screen out in center field. Very, very close play. One of those that could have gone either way. We'll see if it goes the other way on replay. The umpires still looking at it, of course, with a 3-man crew when you have the on-site replay. The 2 umpires who did not make the call are the ones who go look at it. And when they first instituted replay, and pretty much everywhere replay was conducted on site, the umpire who made the call was often going to look at it. Here's the result.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed.
And it's overturned, and the Longhorns remain in the lead. That's out number 3. Martinez, a great play to get the out at first and end the inning with a potential tying run on third. Instead of the run scoring, the Longhorns got the out. 1-run crosses on 2 hits for the Bears. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Texas lead cut to 1, 2-1. Longhorn softball continues in a moment.
Softball fans, it's time to play this or that. Here are the options for best. Let's see what we have. Popcorn or peanuts? It's popcorn. Locked it up. The partner. There it is. Big strike jersey. Orange jersey. Burnt orange jersey. What? Or home run. Number 2. That was this or that.
Bottom of the fourth inning, the Texas Longhorns with a 2-1 lead over the Baylor Bears. The Longhorns loaded them up in the first inning. They got both their runs on infield hits, one of them coming without the bases loaded. And then one base runner each of the last 2 innings against the right-hander Cambry Craker, Georgetown native. Bottom third of the order will try to create a little more breathing room. We get into the late innings. Vivi Martinez, after making a great play to end the top of the fourth eventually, steps up to lead off here in the bottom of the fourth. Takes the first pitch, a strike over the inner half. 0-1 on Martinez, who in the first inning got an RBI on an infield hit, a chopper up the middle that Crager reached up for. It glanced off her glove, rolled away, no one could get an out. Martinez strokes it to center, in and now back. The center fielder Carter reaches up, it's off her glove, hits off the wall and rolls back toward the field. Martinez into second to lead things off with a double. Double number 6 for the redshirt junior. And if she keeps putting up 2 baggers, the Longhorns will be in good position. 2023-24, Martinez combined the 2 years, hit 32 doubles. Texas still really waiting for her to return to her old form after missing last year. J.C. Nichols showing a late bunt on the first pitch, rolls it foul behind the plate. It's the first extra base hit of the game for the Longhorns. Their 5th hit, only their 2nd time. Let's make it 3rd time with a base hit to the outfield. 2 infield hits in the first inning. 0-1 the count on Nichols. Crager deals. Nichols showing bunt again, rolls it to the third base side of the circle. The third baseman Marshall on the move, almost throws it away. Piper, the second baseman, over to cover. A 5-4 sack bunt. That was clearly for Nichols, more of a get it down than try to be cute with it and beat it out. Missing on the previous bunt. Now Ashton Maloney, runner on third, 1 out, infield in all the way around. 2-1 Texas. Wide for ball 1. Maloney leading off the second. Put one on the ground between the third baseman and shortstop. Got it into left field for a base hit. Field, step shallower than normal, pulled over toward the left field line. Maloney takes wide for ball 2. Caden Henry, the top of the order, on deck. Longhorns put up 2 in the first. The Bears scored 1, almost could call it 1.5 in the 3rd inning. 1 officially, 1 was on the board and then removed because of the overturned replay. 2-0, down the middle to Maloney. 2 balls and a strike. These 2 teams going at it again tomorrow, another 6:30 start. That one will be up in Waco. Word is that one's already sold out at Getterman Stadium. 2-1 pitch. Off the outside again, ball 3. Three balls and a strike on Maloney. Crager deals. Low, ball 4, and Ashton takes the walk. So now runners on the corners. Maloney, last time she reached, was caught stealing after being picked off at second base. Her first caught stealing of the season. We'll see if she goes here with Martinez on third and 1 out. Henry at the plate. First pitch showing bunt. There goes Maloney. Throw down, gets cut off by the second baseman Piper. Marshall at third base was down the line, so Martinez able to easily return. And that's a steal for Maloney. She's now 6 of 7 this year. Second and third, and 1-0 on Henry. Here's the pitch. At the knees for a called strike. Caden 0 for 2. Flied to left to open the bottom of the first, and then a comebacker in the second. Krager made the play on. Outfield straight up, medium depth. Infield still in for the Bears. The 1-1. This is wide. 2-1 on the dynamic Henry. Makes good contact. Has power, has speed. Everything you want in a hitter. All-around offensive player. 2-1 pitch. Ropes it in the gap, right center field. That's down and going all the way through to the wall. Martinez scores. Here comes Maloney. Henry rounding second base into third with a triple. Second triple of the year for Caden Henry. And the 6th of her career. It's a 4-1 lead for Texas now. And that knocks out Krager. As Krager gets into the third time through the order. Glenn Moore making the pitching change for the Bears. Henry's 2 RBI give her 31 on the season. Just 5 short of her career high set as a freshman 2 years ago. New pitcher in for Baylor with a runner on third and 1 out here in the 4th inning. It's going to be right-hander Sadie Ross. We'll take a quick break as Ross warms up. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you. Pitching change for the Baylor Bears. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Baylor scored a run in the top half. Nearly tied it. The Longhorns bouncing back offensively. Martinez leadoff double, a sac bunt, and Ash Maloney walk and steal, and a 2-run Caden Henry triple. And now the righty Sadie Ross in the game to face Leanne Good. The Longhorns leading hitter who takes low for ball 1. Ross, a 5'7" right-hander from Carr, Colorado. Comes to this one with the lowest ERA of the Bears. 11th appearance overall, 8th time out of the bullpen. 1-0. Over, but low. 2-0 on Good. The infield in all the way around still for the Bears. Outfield a bit shallower than normal. Leanne hitting .492, 7 doubles, 5 home runs entering this game. Takes a strike at the knees, 2-1. Ross is 5-1 with a .236 ERA. 32 2/3 innings, .246 the opponent's batting average. 15 walks, 21 strikeouts. Right-hander working off the middle of the rubber. Here's the 2-1. Tomahawk swing, chops it down the third base line by Good. It's now 2-2. Longhorns this one, by the way, wearing their white jersey tops that have the burnt orange sleeves, head spoon, and button placket. It's the top button. White pants with burnt orange stripes down the side. 2-2 pitch. Change up. Leanne started at it and then realized it would be high, and she let it go. Ball 3. Orange Sox and choose for Texas. Three balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4, and it's a walk for good. First and third, 1 out for the Longhorns, up 4-1. Here's Kyle Altmaier. Altmaier 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
The left fielder, number 44, Kyle Altmaier.
Longhorns jerseys have the Texas block letters across the front in burnt orange. Number on the front, lower left, number on the back, name on the back, all burnt orange as well. First pitch from Ross is in the dirt, smothered by Avery Waddell. Ball 1. Baylor wearing all green. Forest green with yellow Baylor across the front. 1-0. Little flip off the end of the bat by the batter, Altmaier, caught by the shortstop Tovin drifting back, and at third base, Henry tags up and scores. Bears asking to see if Henry stayed on the base at third base. And the third base umpire, Johnny Paz, says she did. So it's another run for Texas. A sacrifice infield humpback liner off the bat of Kyle Altmaier. 2 out now with good on first, and Atwood hammers it high and deep center field. Gone. 7-1 Texas. And just like that, the Longhorns have blasted this one open. A 258-foot shot from Atwood. The senior's 11th home run of the season. And she's now at 40 runs batted in, which reties her with Katie Stewart, who steps in here. Atwood not waiting around there. Pitch from Ross. First pitch to Stewart, a changeup. That's in there for a called strike. Two out, bases empty. 5 across for Texas here in the 4th. As the offense has woken up following the Bears threatening the Longhorns' lead in the top half. Next pitch misses 1-1 to Stewart. Swing, foul tip. And now 1-2. Stewart with an infield hit in the first inning to knock in the first run of the game, and then she walked in the third on 4 pitches against the starter, Krager. Ross, 1-2. Sails outside. Krager's line closed, barring re-entry. 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. 2-2 now on Stewart. And Stewart retakes the RBI lead with a blast to left center field. It hits off the light standard. Texas. Estimated at 295 feet if that light pole was not in the way. That hit about 3/4 of the way up the light pole. And Stewart saying, hey, Reese, you just tied me an RBI. That's not going to last long. A 6-run inning for Texas. Second RBI of the game for Stewart. Her 41st of the season and 15th home run. The Bears going to the bullpen again. It's going to be Lexi Warnke coming in, a right-hander, to take over in the circle. As she warms up, we'll again take a break. The Longhorns lead 8-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you.
Attention please, switching change for Baylor. Number 8, pitch to the circle, Lexi Warnke.
A huge inning for the Texas Longhorns. They're still going here in the bottom of the fourth. With the ninth hitter of the frame, Hannah Wells, stepping in against her new counterpart, Lexi Warnke. Wells, the Longhorns pitcher so far in this one. Reese Atwood and Katie Stewart have hit consecutive home runs. Wells now stepping in, and she takes the first pitch off the outside, ball one. Wells a walk in the first, fly to right to end the third. So she's 0 for 1, 8-1 Texas. 6 run in the inning. Provided by Katie Stewart's 295-foot shot. That was the estimate if the light pole had not been in the way. Outside from Warnke, 2-0 on Wells. Warnke, a 5'8" junior right-hander from East Bernard, Texas. The 2-0. Swing and a foul tip. Wells chasing way upstairs. Got a piece. Warnke making her 11th appearance. 7th time out of the bullpen, 2-1, 4.40 ERA. 28 2/3 innings, 20 hits. She's walked 9, struck out 21. Best opponent's batting average on the Bears at 196. 2-1 pitch misses outside, and the count 3-1. Xavier Martinez, who got started with a double, is on deck. Three balls and a strike. Warnke. Here's Wells, high and deep to left field. 3 consecutive blasts for Texas. It's 9-1. .257 feet, the projected distance. 3 in a row. And the Longhorns are running away with it now. They were leading by 1 entering this fourth, and they are now in run rule position.
The shortstop number 23, Viviana Martinez.
So now Martinez, who doubled just off the glove of Carter, going back to the warning track to start the inning. First pitch from Warnke with some sizzle right down the pipe. 0-1. Longhorns have batted around here in the fourth inning. They batted around twice on Sunday against Ole Miss. Warnke in the dirt outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sixth time in program history, the Longhorns have hit 3 consecutive homers. Martinez takes high, 2-1. The last time happened May 2nd last year against Kentucky. Katie Stewart, Jolie Mitchell, Vic Hunter. It happened only twice before Mike White got to campus. Martinez ropes it back through the circle and into center field. It's her 2nd hit of the inning, and the Longhorns keep going. Vivi's 3rd hit of the game after her first inning infield chop that drove in a run. Here's J.C. Nichols, so 3 in a row is where it ends. They've done it once each of the last 3 years now. And Katie Stewart has been part of it all 3 times. First pitch, J.C. Nichols is high for ball 1. Last year, May 2nd. 2 years ago, opening weekend, February 10th, against San Diego, Stewart, Atwood, Mitchell. Over but low, the pitch to Nichols. Snap throw back to first by Waddell, but easily stepping back in is Martinez. Back in 2022, the first time in Mike White's tenure, against Miami of Ohio on March 5th. I believe that was a game in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The next pitch finds the outside corner at the knees. Nichols 0 for 1 with a sac bunt earlier this inning. Back in 2022, Mary Iacopo, Katie Simmons, Jordan Whitaker. The trio. 2-1. Catches the outside. Called strike 2. Nichols not too pleased with that call. 2013 and 2006 under Connie Clark, the Longhorns hit 3 in a row as well. 2-2 pitch. Nichols skies it to right. Shallow coming in. Gussman calls off the second baseman Piper. Gussman makes the catch. But the Longhorns plate 7. And they're in run rule position. 9-1 lead as we go to the 5th. Texas softball continues in a moment.
Attention Longhorn fans interested in furthering your support of Texas student athletes. Consider joining the Longhorn Foundation, which fuels champions and aims at lasting impact in the lives of over 500 Texas student athletes. Scan the QR code now to see how you can make a difference today. Hey fans, your Texas softball team is back at home next weekend as they take on Texas A&M in a 3-game Lone Star battle beginning Friday, March 27th, right here in Coates Field, 6 p.m. We'll see you there.
Top of the 5th inning, the Texas Longhorns make a pitching change with a 9-1 lead. The Baylor Bears. Cam Salmon entering the game. Sophomore right-hander, as Mike White said in the pregame interview, getting a relief opportunity here. Hannah Wells got the start. 4 pretty good innings. Allowed 1 run in the 4th inning, almost 2, but overturned. Seems like far in the distance now, that overturned call that prevented Baylor from tying the game. After a 7-run bottom of the 4th for Texas, including 3 home runs. So Salmon enters the game for Texas. 5 feet 8 inches tall, from Beaumont, California. First pitch over the inside corner for a called strike on Avery Waddell. Waddell 0 for 1, flied to right as the first batter of the 3rd inning. Salmon to the plate. Waddell hits it high and deep to center field, and we'll have at least a bottom of the 5th inning as Waddell homers to make it 9-2. Just the 2nd of the year for Waddell. I'm sure not what Mike White wanted to see from Cam Salmon, just entering the game. The right-hander 5-0 with a 2.08 ERA. 11th appearance, 4th time out of the bullpen. Well, the 8-run lead, a little tenuous often. Just 1 run makes it a non-run rule situation. That's what we have now. Base is empty, a 7-run Texas lead. And here's Gianna Gussman. Left-handed batter. Slaps the first pitch foul up the left field line. Back into the Longhorns bullpen, 0-1. Gussman hitting .268, 3 doubles and a homer. 11 runs batted in. Salmon, 33 2/3 innings, 29 hits, a .227 opponent's average. 12 walks, 26 Ks. 0-1. Soft line drive toward Martinez. Bounce once, and Vivi picks up the bounce. A strong throw to first base is out, number 1. Bit of a tough play there. Not routine by any means. You're caught in between whether you want to go for it to catch it out of the air or wait for it to bounce. And if you go for it out of the air, you have to lunge forward. If you wait for the bounce, it might take a bad bounce on a ball like that. Martinez, pretty sure-handed, able to make the play. Now Brooklyn Carter fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. Carter 0 for 2, grounded to third to open the game, lined to third in the 3rd inning. 9-2 Texas here in the top of the 5th. Field in a couple steps all the way around for Texas against the slapper Carter. 0-1 in the dirt outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carter's sister Lauren plays or played at UCLA. Not sure if that was current or not. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lifted in the air left field. Altmaier into foul territory. Stops and puts it away. And that's out number 2. So Carter retired, 2 down, and the base is empty for Amber Tobin. Texas with a 7-run lead in the top of the 5th inning. Maloney in the top of the order due up for Texas in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch taken high by Tobin, ball 1. Tobin in her 5th and final year of collegiate play. Decent player for Baylor, her first 2+ in injury year. Salmon misses high, 2-0 rather. Had a good year in 2023, hit .287, 14 doubles and 4 homers, 35 RBI. Previously had come nowhere close to the batting average he has this year at .353. 2-0. Low and away, ball 3. Five homers for Tobin, already a career high. Left-handed batter, slightly open stance. 3-0 pitch off the outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. So Salmon, after allowing the leadoff home run, got a couple of outs, now puts a runner off. And here's Carrington Dawson. Dawson opened the 4th inning with a double hitting low off the wall in left center field. Scored what is so far the only run for the Bears. First pitch, check swing, foul. The netting above the third base dugout, no balls and a strike. One to count. Pitch. Fly ball left field down the line. Altmaier hustling over into foul territory. Reaches out and just misses it. Looked like she might have had it. Maybe a little hesitant with the side ball coming up. And Altmaier unable to haul it in. That is just a long strike. Foul ball, 0-2. Salmon trying to get out of the top of the 5th. 0-2 pitch. Right down the pipe, ringer up for a called strike 3. Dawson must have been looking for something else. Salmon finally gets out of the inning. Allowed a run, which keeps this game going. She strands the runner on first. 9-2 Texas going to the bottom of the 5th. Longhorn softball continues in a moment. Bottom of the fifth inning, Andrew Haynes at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. The Texas Longhorns have a 9-2 lead over the Baylor Bears. First game of these two teams. 2 games set here on both of their bye weeks in conference play. Longhorns went to the top of the fifth, needing 1 run for a run rule victory. They now need 1 run. Went to the top of the fifth, needing to hold Baylor off the board for the run rule victory. As Ashley Maloney runs up at the first pitch and takes a strike. They did allow a run, so it's a 7-run lead. They need to pick up 1 for a walk-off run. Maloney skies the next pitch into right center. Moving over Gussman. She makes the catch, out number 1. So Maloney, after a base hit and a walk her first 2 trips, is retired to start the 5th. One out against Lexi Warnke. Reliever Sadie Ross for the Bears, for whom Warnke took over in the midst of the 4th, as Henry takes ball 1. Ross went 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs all earned, walked a pair. Allowed 2 home runs. Henry shoots the next pitch foul at the left field line. And the count evens up 1-1. Field back all the way around here against Henry for the Bears. A very good bunter. Here's the 1-1. It's low for ball 2. Third baseman Marshall, as Warnke was starting that windup, suddenly rushed in. Playing in front of the bag here, 2-1. Low and away, ball 3. One bounced by Henry over toward the pitcher, picked up there by the pitcher Warnke. She hustles, picks it up, underhands to first, but at first base, Leah Cran is off the bag. Henry safe on first with 1 out. I'm not sure if Cran was completely off the bag. At the very least, her foot was touching the orange bag, which is reserved for the base runner in that situation. Here's Leanne Good, potential game-ending run on first base, 1 out. First pitch skied down the right field line, drifting and slicing back out of play and off the hands of the event staff member down in the bleachers down the right field line. Gave Caden a single on that play. Her second hit of the game after that triple earlier is a pitch that misses to Good. Throw down to second with Henry breaking down there. Taken by Tobin in front of the bag. Her tag not in time or missed completely. And Henry's on second base. In scoring position. 19th steal in 20 tries for Caden Henry. Ball and a strike on Leanne Good. The pitch. Roped into left field, a base hit. Dawson going over to pick it up. She'll have no shot, and Henry scores to end it. Texas with a run rule victory, 10-2. So Henry getting in scoring position on the steal was big there, as the speedster is able to come around and score on Leanne Good's second hit of the game. And the Longhorns with a late outbreak. 7 in the 4th, add 1 more in the 5th. And they run rule Baylor 10-2. Texas improves to 27-1 on the season. Baylor now 20-8 here in 2026. That's the ball game. We'll come back with the post-game show. Texas softball continues in a moment. Thank you. Feel free to play as much as you need.